preface this by saying I might not be good at reading and pronouncing words, so if I somehow mispronounce like every name and place and word you think I should be able to pronounce, I'm sorry about that. But what they say, every teacher always said, always trust everything on Wikipedia all the time, so at least I'm trying to learn. But let's get our first random article. Okay, immediately. Hocaspis is an extinct genus of troglobites from the family Asphidae. It lived during the early part of the Aaronic stage of the Ordovian, what is this, geological period or system, the second of 6 periods of the Paleozoic era, and the second of 12 periods of the Phanerozoic eon. Okay, a faunal stage, which lasted from approximately 466 to 461 million years ago. This Wikipedia page is pretty short, but we can see the feller right here. This is basically like an isopod. Pretty much just an isopod. I would say this is a pretty good first article. So just a little fella. So the main problem with the random Wikipedia article sometimes it'll just show you something like absolutely horrific, but we're in the clear so far. Okay. So next random article. Okay, you can see what I'm saying about pronouncing things. Mr. Directionsk Ivano Oblast is a rural locality in Trovatsky district with only 201 people. Okay, so this is a village. Interesting. There's nothing notable, just a geographic location, it seems. Interesting. Okay. Next random article. Eternal Tears of Sorrow was a Finnish melodic death metal band formed in Budajärvi. The band was formed in 1994 by Jarmo Puolakano. Sorry, Finnish bros. If you follow me on Instagram, there is a Finland flag behind me often, but this might be hard to pronounce. I'm sorry. I'll just keep trying though, honestly. Worth a shot. Tilin and Ollie Becca Toro. After various projects that featured people who became members of Eternal Tears of Sorrow, the rehearsal place had burned down, they could not find a new rehearsal place in their hometown, so the three members started a new side project, MDC, and recorded a demo tape, Beyond the Fantasy, in autumn 1993. Okay, so that's unlucky that their rehearsal place burned down. That's interesting. In spring 1994, they recorded a new demo, The Seven Goddesses of Frost. Then the band decided to change their name to something they felt more appropriate, opting for Eternal Tears of Sorrow. Between 1994 and 1996, the band had a couple of songs on some compilation CDs in Europe and Canada, and recorded their debut, Sinner's Serenade. It took more than a year for the debut album to get released by Extreme Records, a small underground label from Gothenburg in Sweden. After they recorded their second album, Vilda Manu, Spinefarm Records approached the band, and soon they signed the deal with the label. Their third album, Chaotic Beauty, on which the band had 3 new members since Ali Peccadoro had left the band, led to a European tour with Nightwish and Synergy. Their fourth album, A Virgin and a Whore, went to Finnish album top 40 charts. After releasing 4 albums, the band announced that they were taking a break just after the release of A Virgin and a Whore. However, they broke up in January 2003. Top 40 is pretty good, that's crazy. In February 2005, the band announced that they were going to make a comeback. Their 5th album, Before the Bleeding Sun, was released in April 2006, excluding releases in Russia and Japan that were released later. This album also went to the Finnish top 40 charts to number 26. The band added 2 session members since Petri Senkala and Jan Tossel were unavailable at that time. Okay, so they're making moves. Let me know if you're a big Eternal Tears of Sorrow fan. In late 2008, the band announced that Jarmo Kailemäinen, who had been a part of the band's songwriting team since 2005, had joined the band as an official member. Soon after that, their longtime drummer, Petri Senkala, left because of back pain. In early April 2009, it was reported that Risto Ruth had left the band. They found a replacement, Mika Lamasarari, and started rehearsing for the postponed live shows originally planned for May. The band's 6th album, The Children of the Dark Winters, came out in May 2009 through Zoomin Musiikki in Finland, Massacre Records in the rest of Europe, and Marquis Avalon in Asia. A new single, Tears of Autumn Rain, was released in Finland and Japan, as well as their band's MySpace page. The other track on the single was a re-recorded version of Vilda Manu from their second album, Children of the Dark Waters, charted at number 19 social media that they had been disbanded. It's interesting that it seems they just got more and more successful every time they released music. But this is a lot of members. Dang. You know, it's bad when they got the graph showing all the members' timelines. Okay. And we got a photo where he's in a shirt saying, "I'm evil." Okay, new article. Like a Prayer song is a song by American singer Madonna from her 1989 fourth studio album of the same name. It was released as the album's lead single on March 3rd, 1989 by Sire Records, written and produced by both Madonna and Patrick Leonard. The song heralded an artistic and personal approach to songwriting for Madonna, who believed that she needed to cater more to her adult audience. Like a Prayer is a pop rock, dance pop, and gospel song that also incorporates elements of funk. It features background vocals from a choir and also a rock guitar. The lyrics contain liturgical words, but they have been interpreted by some people to have dual meanings of sexual innuendo and religion. Like a Prayer was acclaimed by music critics upon its release and was a global commercial success, becoming Madonna's 7th #1 hit on the US Billboard Hot 100, topping the Hot 100 for 3 consecutive weeks, and also topping the charts in many other countries, including Australia, Brazil, Canada, Italy, Mexico, New Zealand, and Spain, and the United Kingdoms. Rolling Stones listed Like a Prayer among the 500 greatest songs of all times. So Madonna just immediately came in and terror mocked that Finnish band, but it's okay. Okay, I'm immediately saying this is a incredibly long article. Do we need to hear this much about Madonna? Let's skip over to critical reception. No, where was the Pope in that picture? Okay, reception and protests. The day after the Pepsi commercial was released, Madonna released the actual Like a Prayer music video on MTV. Christian groups worldwide, including the Vatican, protested against its broadcast and called for a global boycott of Pepsi and its subsidiaries, including KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut. Okay, so this song is so impactful that we cannot have Pizza Hut any longer. While the Like a Prayer Pepsi commercial portrayed Madonna as a wholesome, all-American girl, the treatment of her actual music video contrasted sharply with its provocative use of religious imagery. Pepsi explained the differences between their advertisement and Madonna's artistic opinions. Ultimately, Pepsi gave in to the protests for hardline Christian groups and canceled the campaign. According to Tara Borelli, Pepsi was so eager to extricate themselves from the controversy that they allowed Madonna days led to her Like a Prayer video, introduced the concept of free publicity and became a turning point to where Madonna was viewed as a shrewd businesswoman who knew how to sell a concept. Interesting. This is 1989, I think. What's it? Yeah, 1989. I guess just having religious imagery in your music video was that controversial back then. No ironic praying in the 80s, apparently. Interesting. Not gonna lie, I think that's enough about Madonna. New article. Speed skating at the 2022 Winter Olympics. Women's 5,000 meters. Women's 5,000 meter competition in speed skating at the 2022 Winter Olympics was held on the 10th of February at the National Speed Skating Oval Ice Ribbon in Beijing. Irene Schouten of the Netherlands, who was already became the champion on 3,000 meter a few days earlier, won the event. Isabelle Weideman of Canada won the silver medal, and Martina Zablikova of the Czech Republic, the 2010 and 2014 Olympic champion at this distance, bronze. Olympics. I've never seen the Olympics before. Speed skating. I bet they're fast. Very fast. The weather of 2005. I recall something bad might have happened with the weather during that year. The following is a list of weather events that occurred on Earth in the year 2005. The year began with a weak El Nino, although this would fade into a neutral phase later in the year. The most common weather events to have a significant impacts are blizzard, cold waves, droughts, heat waves, wildfires, floods, tornadoes, and tropical cyclones. Deadliest events: Hurricane Stan and Hurricane Katrina. No one's filled out. Cold snap and winter storms, floods. You'd think that this would be a more popular article, but I guess people are probably more so filling out the actual storms themselves than just specifically the year. Pretty oddly specific article. It's like, yeah, no one's filled out April either. Me when I'm trying to fill out my book report about April 2005 weather and no one has filled it out yet. What a nightmare. Erste is a village in Mulgi Parish, Viljandi County in Estonia. Before 2017, it was located in Estel Parish. Did it move? Or, I don't know what that means, but I guess that's all we know. It's right there. Estonia Bros. second season of the American version of the television reality program Love Island premiered on CBS in the United States and CTV in Canada on July 7th, 2021. Ariel Vanderberg returns to host the series while Matthew Hoffman provided voiceover narration. I've never seen Love Island. Spoiler for who won Love Island in 2021 in this chart. People who walked and were removed. Dumped. What does that mean? So they just didn't find a partner. Yeah, single. Vulnerable. I don't know exactly what this show is. TBH. Tucker, the man and his dream. 1988 American biographical comedy drama film. Directed by Francis Ford Coppola, starring Jeff Bridges as inventor Preston Tucker. The film recounts Tucker's story and his attempts to produce and market the Tucker 48, which was met with scandal between the big three automobile manufacturers and accusations of stock fraud from the U.S. Secretaries and Exchange Commission. Joan Allen, Martin Landau, Elias Koteas, Frederick Forrest, and Christian Slater appear in supporting roles. For his performance, Landau was nominated for the Academy Award and won the Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor. Interesting. I've also not seen this movie. Historical accuracy. It's declared a box office bomb because it did not reimburse the $24 million production budget, despite positive reviews. Became a cult classic for years to come. Interesting. So people like this movie, but it was not profitable to him. Association for Women's Interests was a women's organization in Luxembourg founded on the 14th of January 1906. It was the first women's organization in Luxembourg. I'm curious what women's interests were. Does it say in here? So women's rights. Yeah, I mean, that would have been a pretty important interest, I'd imagine. Education for women. Okay. consists of the southern and eastern parts of the Lauwersmeer. As part of the Dutch Wadden Conservation Area, it was inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List for its outstanding biodiversity and its large, relatively pristine intertidal ecosystem. Damn, they have birds there. That's crazy. Highland cattle. That is the cutest cow breed. TBH. Let's do one more. The Battle of Lingbao. Lingbao was an engagement in Shanxi province during the Chinese 8th War Zone and the Japanese First Army in the first stage of Operation Ichigo, also known as the counterattack on Shenzhou, and the battle in the vicinity of Lingbao by the Chinese National Revolutionary Army. It encompassed the Chinese offensive towards Guangzhou and the Japanese offensive towards Lingbao following the defeat of the Chinese First War Zone against the Japanese 12th Army in Henan province. Okay, so this is in 1944. China versus Japan. Let's see. Sorry, it's like 5 in the morning right now, which is not helping me with this wall of text, not gonna lie. I'm sorry, RIP those who died in this war. But my brain is ready to sleep, and hopefully you are